Hello, my name's Jill Hunter. I'm a professor at the University of New South Wales in Australia. The Looking Inside Jury Adjudication workshop takes place on Friday the 6th of June at 3 p.m. It explores jury research on judges' communications with juries, juror perceptions, jury deliberations, and the adjudication process. We have 3 papers that build on empirical and interdisciplinary jury research from both common law and civil law systems. Nancy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm Nancy Marde. I'm a professor of law at Chicago-Kent College of Law in Chicago, Illinois. Should I proceed with my few sentences?
Go for it.
All right. So I'll be speaking about the challenge that jury instructions pose for the American legal system. Instructions are critical to jury deliberations, and yet many empirical studies show that jurors have difficulty understanding them. The instructions are typically written by committees made up of lawyers and judges who write instructions that are appropriate for legal professionals, but not necessarily for lay people. In the past, some states in the US have responded by rewriting their instructions in plain language. However, this effort has largely disappeared. So what's to be done? My presentation will examine why this problem persists in American courtrooms and suggest steps, some easy, some hard, that judges and jury instruction committees can take to improve the communications between judge and jury.
Ma.
Okay, thank you, Jill. Thank you, Professor Hunter. Good night from Spain. Buenas noches. My name is Mar Jimeno-Bulnes. I'm professor of procedural law at the University of Burgos in Spain. And in my case, I shall approach to the Spanish perspective on the jury topic related to the adjudication process. I shall deal with the role displayed by the clerk of the court, who in some way is also protagonist in the adjudication process, inasmuch the Spanish jury law requires the reasoning of the verdict, which is a very strange requirement, by the way, on the classical jury system. Then the clerk of the court, he or she must assist of the jury composed by laymen and lay women. I have made research on this topic before, and I shall try to present here in the workshop some desk study joined with empirical study resulting of interviews addressed to different clerks of the courts in Spain. I encourage you to attend our workshop, so nos vemos el día 6 de junio. See us on June 6th. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you, Ma. Richard.
Thank you. So my name is Professor Richard Kemp. I'm a Professor of Psychology and Forensic Psychology at the University of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia. I'm very much looking forward to this workshop. I enjoy interdisciplinary work, and it's nice bringing law and psychology together, which is my area of passion. And in this workshop, I'm going to be talking about some new work that we've just started, and I'll be presenting some pilot research. Essentially, what we're doing is looking at how we can conduct psychological research to try and understand what happens inside the jury room. The jury room is usually a closed box, and we're not allowed to see what happens inside. And yet it's really important that we understand the processes that go on inside juries so that, for example, we can write sensible judicial instructions and tell the jury what they should and shouldn't be doing. Psychological research in the past has been quite limited in that it's tended to ignore the deliberation process and just look at individual decision makers. And that's a significant weakness in the research, and therefore the advice that psychologists have been able to give lawyers and policymakers is probably flawed. So in this new line of research, we've developed a new experimental procedure which actually tries to model the process of deliberation. So we can look at questions such as whether or not jurors and juries are self-correcting. So if a juror makes an error, is it the case that their fellow jurors are able to correct that error? And if they do make a correction, does that heal the problem? Does it cure the problem? Does the jury then run as it should, as if the error hadn't been introduced in the first place? So our new technique allows us to investigate these kind of questions, and we're looking forward and beginning to plan now a series of studies where we'll be able to ask questions about issues like that, questions which address what happens inside the jury room. So I'm looking forward to talking about that research and particularly exploring questions about the best methods that we can use, experimental methods we can use to try and understand what happens inside the jury room. Thank you very much.
What an amazing workshop we have planned. Look forward to seeing you there.